The meeting hall of the Galactic Council was large, quiet, and filled with light from hundreds of floating crystals. Leaders from over 30 alien species sat in circles, speaking through translators and pretending to smile. In the center, sitting calmly, were the human ambassadors representing Earth, one of the newest members of the Galactic Alliance. Humans had earned their place in the Council through hard work and fast progress. In only centuries, they had built colonies across 3-star clusters, learned to speak dozens of alien languages, and even helped end wars between older species. Many admired them, some feared them, and a few wanted to stop them. In public, the Council praised Earth's achievements. They shook hands with human leaders, gave them awards, and signed peace treaties. But in private, they whispered. They feared how fast humans grew, how their ideas spread like wildfire, and how, if left unchecked, they might one day take control of everything. So they made a plan. The trap was simple. The humans had agreed to send a joint peace fleet to help stop pirate attacks near the edges of Alliance space. The Council promised it would be a safe mission, with full support from other member worlds. But when the fleet entered the sector, something went wrong. No pirates appeared. Instead, hidden ships marked with fake pirate signals attacked the human vessels. Their shields failed faster than expected. Communication lines were cut. Some ships exploded without warning. In minutes, the fleet was scattered. Only a few human vessels managed to escape. Most were destroyed or lost. The Council called it a terrible accident. They said the pirates were smarter than expected. They said they would investigate. They said they were sorry. But the humans knew the truth. They saw how the Council's rescue ships arrived too late, how the black boxes of the lost ships were corrupted, how the alien commanders had changed course at the last second, leaving humans exposed. The Council didn't expect Earth to find the clues, but they did. They had spies of their own. They had copies of communications the Council thought were deleted. They had footage from a single human drone that survived and recorded everything: the betrayal, the fake signals, the Council ships that didn't even try to help. Earth didn't respond right away. No angry speech, no declaration of war. They simply went quiet. Galactic news channels guessed that humans were grieving. Some thought Earth would leave the Alliance. Others joked that humans were too soft, too young, too emotional to handle the rough games of the galaxy. But something else was happening on Earth. Deep underground, hidden beneath the old mountains of North America and the frozen ice of Antarctica, doors opened. Old military programs once thought shut down were reactivated. Engineers, pilots, and scientists returned to bases without saying a word to the public. They called it Project Horizon. No one outside Earth knew what it was. Even most humans didn't. It was never broadcasted, never mentioned. But inside secret labs, new ships were being built faster, smarter, and more silent than anything the galaxy had seen. Technology the Council had told Earth to ban was now being tested in open labs. Rules were no longer followed, not because humans wanted war, but because they had learned a lesson. Trusting the Council had cost them thousands of lives. When Earth's president stood in front of the United Nations, she didn't give a long speech. She didn't name the enemies. She only said one thing, loud and clear. They broke the treaty. We won't speak. We won't fight back with noise. We will respond with action. Those who watched from other planets didn't know what she meant, but some felt a strange chill. Something had changed. Humans were not sad anymore. They were not looking for justice. They were preparing something else. On a lonely human ship floating in deep space, and I received a quiet signal from Earth. It was a simple command, nothing flashy. It just said, activate. The eye turned its eyes toward the stars where the betrayal had taken place. Then it vanished into the darkness, leaving no trace. The Council continued with its meetings. More speeches, more smiles, more lies. They thought the humans were licking their wounds, hiding back on Earth. But humanity wasn't hiding. They were getting ready. And across space, where the stars burned bright and cold, the galaxy was about to learn what happens when humans are pushed too far. For months, the galaxy watched Earth quietly, waiting for a reaction. The humans had not sent any warnings. They had not made any formal complaint to the Galactic Council. They simply pulled their remaining fleets back and closed communication with almost every system. Many alien leaders believed it was over. They thought the humans had been hurt too badly to act. Some believed the betrayal had broken their spirit. In council meetings, the subject of Earth became rare. When it came up, the topic changed quickly. No one wanted to admit the truth. The truth was some were afraid. But others weren't. They laughed. They mocked Earth in private messages. They called humans over-emotional apes and said they had no real power. One official from the Domnari species even made a public joke. I guess Earth has returned to being quiet. Maybe next time they'll bring better shields. The humans saw the joke. They saw the reports, and they said nothing. Deep inside Earth's defense network, hidden satellites continued to scan nearby space. In old shipyards orbiting Mars and Europa, engineers worked around the clock. Their hands were silent, their faces focused. No media was allowed. No sound left the stations. What they were building was not just ships. They were building a message. On the surface of Earth, life went on as normal. Children went to school. People worked. Cities stayed bright and peaceful. But beneath that peace, thousands of former soldiers were being called back to duty. They weren't told why, just that their service was needed again. Among them was Commander Rachel Stone. She had led missions across the Orion Edge, once saved an entire refugee fleet from collapse, and then retired after peace was signed with the Council. She thought her days of war were over, but when her old command badge blinked red one morning, she packed her bag without a word and left her home. When she arrived at the secret base in Alaska, she was met by an officer she had never seen before. "Commander," the man said, handing her a black data chip. "Project Horizon is live, and you're going to lead the first mission." Rachel looked down at the chip. "What's the objective?" The officer didn't blink. "To remind them who we are. On the other side of the galaxy, a mining ship from the Council found something strange near a burned-out system. A floating metal sphere, smooth and black, no markings. It gave off no energy, no signal, nothing. They brought it on board, thinking it was old wreckage. But as soon as it touched their ship's surface, every system froze. The lights flickered. Screens turned black. Then one word appeared on every screen, in every known galactic language. Run. And just like that, the sphere exploded into dust. Harmless, but unforgettable. The news spread fast. More of those spheres began to appear in random systems, Council headquarters, major trade lanes, even private Council ships. They always showed the same word. Run. No message, no reason. Just that word. Some called it a prank, others called it a warning. But one thing was clear: humans had not forgotten. Earth's silence was not weakness. It was planning. As more spheres appeared, Council members began to feel the pressure. Old allies of Earth started asking questions. Why had the Council failed to explain the ambush? Why did the humans go dark? Why were those warning spheres only targeting Council-controlled areas? A few brave voices suggested peace talks again. They said it wasn't too late to make things right. But those voices were quickly silenced, not by humans, by the Council itself. The Galactic Council was now more divided than ever. Some wanted to control Earth completely. Others wanted to rebuild the Alliance. But none of them realized that humans had already decided. Earth didn't need revenge. They wanted one thing. Respect. In a hidden star system known only by humans, Project Horizon reached its final phase. Inside the black hangar floated a new kind of ship, sleek, without windows, powered by silent engines and hidden drives. It didn't need a fleet. It was the fleet. And its brain had no name, just a command: watch, wait, respond. Commander Rachel stood at the command deck. Her face was calm, her hands steady. She looked at her crew, made of Earth's best pilots, engineers, and strategists. "We don't speak first," she said softly, "but when they speak of us, they will remember." The ship turned toward deep space. Its engines lit up once, then vanished from view. No signal, no trace. Just silence. but the kind of silence that waits just before the storm. Deep in the heart of the galaxy, where stars burned bright and old, something strange began to happen. Council systems that once buzzed with life suddenly went dark. Communication cut off without warning. Patrol ships disappeared, and no one knew why. Then the messages came. A single human ship, unlike any others, was seen near the edge of the forgotten star cluster. It moved with impossible speed, faster than sensors could track. It appeared and vanished like a shadow inside the ship. Commander Rachel Stone and her crew watched the stars carefully. They were not here to fight yet. Their mission was clear: deliver a warning. Make the Council remember the cost of betrayal on the worlds where humans had once built colonies. The new beacon was activated. Small devices sent out a pulse that could reach every communication system. The pulse carried a single word: simple, sharp, clear, run. This word echoed through Council space. At first, many ignored it. Some laughed. Others said it was just a trick or glitch in the system. But the Council was wrong. The word carried power. It reminded everyone what happened when humans were crossed. The Council leaders gathered urgently in their chambers. They debated fiercely, blaming each other. None dared admit they feared the humans had grown beyond control. Meanwhile, human ships moved silently through the shadows. They avoided combat but disabled Council defenses, hacked communication networks, and revealed secrets hidden for decades. On one Council planet, a group of ambassadors found themselves trapped. Their ships were surrounded by invisible forces. Systems went offline one by one. No attack was visible. No warning was given. Then, their screens lit up. A simple message, in every language they knew, filled the room: run. The ambassadors knew the message was real, and deadly. Panic spread quickly across the galaxy. Planets once loyal to the Council began questioning their leaders. Some sent secret messages to Earth asking for peace. Others started preparing defenses, fearing an attack. But Earth did not attack. Not yet. Commander Rachel explained to her crew, "We are not here to destroy. We are here to remind. We do not want war, but we will stop anyone who breaks trust again." Back on Earth, leaders watched the news with quiet satisfaction. The message was working. The galaxy was starting to listen. In the Council's main hall, voices grew louder. Some wanted to punish Earth for their silence and speed. Others wanted to negotiate, fearing a war they could not win. One Council elder, known for wisdom, spoke quietly. "We underestimated them. Humans have survived worse than us. They are not weak. They are patient, and patient can be dangerous." The warning was clear. The human's single word was not a threat. It was a lesson. A lesson written in the stars. As days passed, the Council faced more losses. Not from open battle, but from systems going offline. Ships found drifting empty. Colonies reporting strange sensor failures. On a distant moon, a small team of Council scientists studied a recovered human drone. Its technology was unlike anything seen before, able to move without sound, to hack systems without entering networks. The Council began to realize how far humans had come since the betrayal. No one had seen it coming. Meanwhile, Rachel's ship moved closer to the Council's capital system. It was the heart of power, where decisions were made and secrets kept. Her crew was ready, but she knew this was not the time for war. It was time for a message. When they reached orbit, communications opened not with guns, but with a broadcast. A human voice filled the Council chambers. "You broke your promise. You betrayed our trust. We lost friends, family, homes, but we did not break. We did not fall. We waited. And now, we remind you." The message was short, the voice calm but strong. "This is your warning. Run while you still can." The Council members stared at each other, speechless. For the first time, the humans spoke openly, not as diplomats, but as a force to be reckoned with. The silence that followed was heavier than any battle. Across the galaxy, stories spread of the silent ship and the warning message. Some feared the humans, others admired their calm strength. But all agreed on one thing: the era of ignoring Earth was over. Commander Rachel looked out at the stars from her ship's window. "This is just the beginning. she said softly. They will remember. And with that, the ship vanished into the endless night, leaving the word run echoing in the minds of all who heard it. After the mysterious message and the sudden disappearance of Council ships, fear grew like a shadow over many worlds. No one knew where the humans would strike next. No one knew what they were capable of. Then, ships began to reappear. Ships thought destroyed years ago, ancient vessels from human colonies that had vanished after them. Betrayal were now returning, but they were not the same. These ships moved with new power, faster and stronger. Some had no crews. Others were controlled by advanced artificial intelligence, able to think and react faster than any alien pilot. The Council was stunned. These ships, called the Ghost Fleet by some, began to patrol border systems once ignored. They moved, silently, watching, protecting, and reminding the galaxy that humanity was far from defeated. In council meetings, panic grew. Leaders debated what to do. Some wanted to attack first, to destroy the Ghost Fleet before it grew stronger. Others warned against rushing into war with humans. The memories of the past betrayal made them cautious, but fear made them reckless. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, Commander Rachel Stone prepared for the next step. Her ship, alone but powerful, moved toward the Vetras Pass, a narrow, vital trade lane used by many Council species. It was the gateway between quadrants and the perfect place to send a message. As the Council fleet gathered at Vetras Pass, they believed they held the advantage. 60 ships from 5 races stood ready to block any human advance. But they did not know the humans had learned from their mistakes. Rachel's ship arrived quietly, invisible to many sensors. It moved with a speed no Council vessel could match. Without warning, it disabled the Council's communication systems and jammed their weapons. Panic spread through the Council fleet. They could not target the silent ship. Then, one by one, ships began losing power. Engines failed. Systems shut down. Rachel single quotes, as ship did not fire a single shot. It did not need to. When the Council fleet finally regained control, half their ships were drifting empty, unable to respond. The rest fled, broken and defeated. As they escaped, the humans sent their warning again, not by voice or message, but directly into the minds of Council captains. A single word, clear and cold: run. The Council's defeat at Vetras Pass was more than a battle. It was a turning point. It showed the galaxy what humans had become: fast, precise, and unstoppable when pushed. Back on Earth, news of the victory spread quietly through military channels. The public heard little. The government controlled information tightly. They wanted the galaxy to understand without fear. "We don't want war," President Alan Ross said in a rare interview. "We want respect. Respect for the truth. Respect for our survival." If the Council had kept their word, none of this would have happened. But many planets now feared humans. Some closed their borders. Others sent fleets in secret, hoping to prepare for the inevitable. Even the Council's own members began to question their leadership. Whispers of change floated through halls once filled with pride. Meanwhile, the ghosts of betrayed colonies worked quietly. Former citizens, engineers, and soldiers joined forces with Earth's fleet. They shared stories of loss and hope, of homes destroyed but spirits unbroken. This new alliance began building a future together, a future where humans were no longer victims, but leaders. Commander Rachel spoke to her crew one evening as they orbited a quiet moon. "Our past was dark," she said, "but our future is ours to choose. We fight not for revenge, but for a galaxy that remembers trust." Her words inspired many. The crew understood their mission was bigger than battles. It was about changing the way the galaxy saw humanity. In the far reaches of space, the Council tried one last plan. They gathered their most powerful weapons and prepared to strike Earth's hidden bases. But before they could act, a message arrived, not from Earth. From a human ship, closer than anyone expected. It was a warning. "Stop." The message said simply, "We do not want war, but we will defend ourselves." The Council paused. For the first time, they truly saw what they faced. Humans were no longer the newcomers to be ignored or controlled. They were the future. The Galactic Council was losing control. Secrets buried for years began to surface, shaking the foundation of the Alliance. A whistleblower, once a trusted council member, released hidden recordings to the galaxy. The footage showed council leaders planning the betrayal of humans. It revealed secret meetings where they decided to weaken Earth's colonies, cut their fleets, and cover up their crimes. When the recordings spread, shock rippled across many planets. How could they? Asked a merchant from the Zontari system. We trusted them, whispered a scientist from the Rylan worlds. Even some council members who had stayed silent now demanded answers. The truth could not be hidden. Earth's leaders did not need to say much. The evidence spoke for itself. The galaxy saw the betrayal clearly. The humans had not been the villains. They had been the victims. With the truth known, many species sent messages to Earth. Some apologized, others asked for help. A few offered alliances, but humans were careful. They remembered how trust was broken. President Alan Ross addressed the galactic community in a public broadcast. We forgive the past, he said, but we will never forget. We build our future on honesty and respect. Those who seek peace and friendship will find us open. Those who try betrayal will find us ready. His words brought hope to many. While politics shifted, Commander Rachel Stone prepared for a new mission. The Ghost Fleet was growing. Old human colonies, once lost, now reconnected with Earth. They rebuilt together. Their ships and knowledge combined into a force no one could ignore. Rachel's next target was the heart of the Council's power. She led a team to the capital system, where the Council's leaders met. The mission was clear: not to destroy, but to show strength. When her ship arrived in orbit, she sent a message. We come not as enemies, but as survivors. Respect our people and our right to exist. The Council was forced to listen. In the Council chambers, tension filled the air. Some wanted to fight, others wanted to negotiate. But all new things had changed. The betrayal had cost them more than ships and colonies. It had cost trust. The Council finally agreed to new talks with Earth. For the first time in years, the possibility of peace returned across the galaxy. Stories of the humans' rise inspired others. Small planets that had once been afraid began standing tall. They formed new alliances based on fairness, not fear. The galaxy was changing, shaped by humanity's strength and honesty. Commander Rachel looked at the stars one night. We are not just fighters, she said. We are leaders of a new way, a way built on truth and courage. Her crew nodded, ready for whatever came next. The word that started it all, run, had become a symbol, not of fear, but of change. The galaxy had changed, but the journey was far from over. After the truth of the betrayal spread, and new talks began between Earth and the Galactic Council, many hoped for lasting peace. But some voices still called for war. Some races feared human power and wanted to keep them under control. Commander Rachel Stone knew this was a fragile moment. Peace would not come from words alone. It would come from strength and respect earned on Earth. Scientists and engineers worked on new technology, ships faster and smarter than ever before. These were not weapons of destruction, but tools of defense and exploration. Humanity wanted to protect its people and prove its place among the stars. Rachel stood on the bridge of her ship, watching the stars pass by. She thought about the lives lost, the betrayal suffered, and the long path ahead. We have shown them our strength, she said to her crew. Now, we must show them our heart. At the Galactic Council, new leaders emerged, those willing to build bridges instead of walls. They invited Earth to join a special council of peacekeepers. This group would protect smaller planets and keep the Alliance honest. Some council members resisted this change. They whispered in secret, fearing the loss of power. But the galaxy had seen what happened when trust was broken. The message was clear. Betrayal would no longer be accepted. As Rachel's ship traveled through council space, she met with allies old and new. Former colonies joined the effort, bringing knowledge, resources, and hope. Together, they worked on missions to rebuild damaged worlds and protect innocent lives. One evening, Rachel received a message from President Alan Ross. We have come far, he said, but our greatest test is ahead. We must remain united and strong. The galaxy will watch us. Rachel smiled. We are ready. Back in the council chambers, a debate raged. Some wanted to punish Earth further. Others wanted to make peace. Finally, the council voted to sign a new treaty, one that respected all species equally. It promised no more betrayals, no more secrets. Earth accepted the treaty, but with one condition: the council would create a transparent system for justice and protection. The galaxy agreed. Across the stars, hope grew. Planets once fearful now dreamed of joining. The alliance trade routes reopened. Cultures exchanged ideas and stories. Humans shared their history not as conquerors, but as survivors who had learned the value of trust. Rachel S. crew stood together, proud to be part of this new era. We have come from the edge of destruction, she told them, to the center of hope. But Rachel knew the future was not guaranteed. We must stay vigilant, she said. Trust is earned every day. We must be ready to protect it. And so, humanity moved forward not with threats or fear, but with strength, honesty, and courage. The word that once warned the galaxy, run, had changed. It was no longer a threat. It was a promise. A promise that humans would never be betrayed again. The Galactic Council was no more. After the truth of betrayal came out, and the humans showed their strength and wisdom, the old council lost its power. Many members left, ashamed or scared. Others worked hard to build a new alliance based on trust and respect. Earth stood at the center of this new beginning, not as a conqueror, but as a leader who had survived and grown stronger. Commander Rachel Stone watched the first meeting of the new Galactic Alliance. Representatives from many species gathered, not to hide secrets, but to share hopes. The halls were filled with quiet excitement, a chance to build a better future. Rachel smiled quietly. This was what they fought for. Years passed. Humans and aliens worked together to rebuild damaged worlds. They shared knowledge, technology, and culture. The galaxy became more united. Trade routes opened wider than ever. New planets joined the alliance. Peace was not perfect, but it was stronger than before. The word run, once a warning of danger, had changed meaning. It was now a reminder of what happens when trust is broken. A lesson learned by many. On Earth, President Alan Ross gave a speech that was broadcast across the stars. We faced betrayal. He said, but we chose hope. We chose to stand strong and honest. Today, we lead not by fear, but by example. We will protect this galaxy not by force, but by trust. His words were met with applause from many planets. Commander Rachel stood on a balcony, looking up at the night sky. Stars twinkled like old friends. She thought about the journey from betrayal and silence to strength and leadership. We were told to run, she whispered to herself. But we stayed. We fought. And now, the galaxy runs toward peace. Her crew joined her, each smiling. Our story is far from over, Rachel said. But today, we celebrate how far we have come. Across the galaxy, children of many species learned about the history of humans. They heard stories of survival, courage, and the power of unity. Humans were no longer outsiders or threats. They were friends, protectors, and leaders. And everywhere. The word run was spoken differently. Not as a warning, but as a promise. A promise that no betrayal would be forgotten. A promise that trust must be honored. And most of all, a promise that humanity would always stand strong no matter what.